Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are discussing making fall cakes, or like a fake cake for a display. So basically the reason why I started making these is because I live in Texas and my kids' birthdays are usually like in hot months. Well, it's usually hot the entire year, but anyway, usually in the summer and in the fall. So, what I started doing instead of making like big, amazing cakes for my kids is making display cakes, and then just making either cupcakes or like a smaller cake to cut when it's time for the cake. So, basically, what I'm doing here is I am putting together my dummy cake, and what I went ahead and did for this one is what I want to show you is that this cake dummy has actually been with me for about, I think now is its third year. But basically, before I started adding this happy birthday and uh, the sports balls and decorations, it was used for my son's Toy Story cake. And I'll show you in a different video, but I went ahead and painted this white because it was blue. So I just kind of want to show you how we transition from one theme to the next. So I'm just going to let you watch this. I think it was like an all-star sports theme birthday for my godson. So that's what I'm doing here. I'll go ahead and let you watch. It's about to finish. And then that was the finished product. And then that was, I think, in March. So I went ahead and stored it, and initially my sister-in-law was like, "Hey, do you want it back?" And I was going to tell her no, but I was like, "Sure. I mean, let's see if we can salvage it one more year, or like one more try." So basically what I did is I went ahead and stored it in my one of my cabinets, and I'm removing all of the decorations. And basically what happens is that since it's styrofoam and it had like picks to hold the decorations, it left a lot of holes. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually filling the holes with spackle, and that spackle is by the, I think it's pronounced DAP brand, and it's the Fast and Final lightweight spackle. I think it dries in 30 minutes. I bought it on Amazon, but I'll also link it for Walmart. You can basically find it at your local hardware store. So what I'm doing here is I'm basically taking a bench scraper that I never use for cakes, and maybe like you can also use disposable silverware, or like a fork or a knife that's disposable, so that you don't contaminate your own. And what I'm doing here is I'm basically just adding it to the holes. And I don't know if you also saw or caught it in the beginning, but there was a dent on the top of the cake, and I kind of like experimented here because I was like, I don't know if it's going to hold. So I kind of like added some of the spackle to even out the edge. Does that make sense? And as you can see here, apparently it made it not be dented. So anyway, after I did this, I waited for 30 minutes to make sure that everything was dry. And in order for the paint to actually, I don't know what the word is, but like catch or like hold on to this spackle, it has to be acrylic paint. So the first time that I ever did this with a dummy cake, I tried to use food grade paint, and basically what it was doing, it was getting absorbed into the spackle. So definitely use acrylic paint. I think the brand of this paint is Apple Barrel. You can get this paint at Walmart or your local craft store like Michael's, Joann's, or Amazon. So I'll go ahead and link that there. And what I'm using here is actually I think it's the color pink polish and white. And the theme of this cake is Paw Patrol. So specifically Sky, because it's for my daughter. So what I'm doing here is I started to paint the middle layer because I hadn't decided if I wanted it to be an ombre cake, which is darker on one end, like on one level, and it gets lighter, or vice versa. So I kind of started in like a middle shade here, and then I tried to do the bottom a little bit darker and the top a little bit lighter. I'm not quite sure if I was able to blend it correctly. I feel like I could have done a better job, but Basically that's what I was going for. So here what I'm using is actually just all disposable things or things that you won't use for your actual cakes. So I used a paper plate to mix the paint, and I went ahead and used just one of those little paint brushes that I do art projects with my kids. And I should have probably changed the bottom board because, as you can see, I kept it in the black board, but now I feel like I should have used the white one. Anyway, another thing that I do have to say is I think there's special glue for styrofoam, and basically what I did is I used hot glue to glue the styrofoam onto the board, and I noticed that after it started drying, it started kind of like peeling or like popping off. So I think that's one of the things that I'm going to try to figure out or find out for the next time that I repurpose this cake, because yes, I saved it. It's in one of my cabinets, and I think I'm going to use it next on my son's birthday, which I haven't decided on the theme yet, but I'll probably go ahead and change the board at the bottom, and then I'll report back and let you know what I used so that it doesn't pop off. But here I'm basically trying to kind of like blend or make that ombre moment with the paint. I feel like I kind of like got impatient because I think you can see where it's darker pink at the bottom, and then the top is like almost the same as the middle layer. So I feel like I could have done a better job. But anyway, I'll let you kind of like just watch me try to blend this, and then I'll come back. I also want to add that the first fake cake that I ever made in my life took me so long to put together and to kind of like plan out. But once you get some practices in, I feel like it's a little bit easier. I definitely recommend that if you do invest in one of these cake dummies or like a set, that you keep it for a few years or a few cakes. Because if I remember correctly, I think that all three of these cake dummies equal to an amount of like $50, and I bought this 3 years ago, so it might be more expensive now. And if you want the dimensions, I'll put that in the description below, but I believe the bottom is a 10, the middle is an 8, and the top is a 6. And I feel like they probably are more expensive now. I honestly haven't looked, but if you invest in a dummy, try to take care of it, try to keep it for as long as you can. Repairing them is a lot cheaper than buying a whole set. And in the beginning, I used to just like, be like, oh, I'm done with this cake, and just kind of like throw it away and buy a new set. But I don't know if it was like laziness, or I don't know what it was, but anyway, I started opting for just keeping it. I did have another dummy, and I did go ahead and get rid of it because I used such a weird texture on it, it was kind of impossible to like bring it back to be smooth, because the texture that I used on it was a little bit bumpy, and I feel like I would have had to stick to that specific texture, and I didn't want to. So anyway, you saw me place all of these Paw Patrol decorations, and I got these at Party City, and it came with a set of, I believe it was 12 large of these large picks, and then 12 small ones. The 12 small ones I used on cupcakes, and of course Sky is at the very, very top. And those little balls that you see, the gold and pink, I actually saved from the sports cake, and some of them I went ahead and painted them to fit with the theme of this cake, which was pink. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget that all of the materials that I used and details will be listed in the description box below. Don't forget to check out my website, because I most likely will transfer this right over there, so you can have like a printable version of this. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, comment, share this video with somebody, and hit the like button, and I'll see you next time. Bye.